What if I told you there are places on Earth that no one is allowed to visit? Places so dangerous, secret, or protected that stepping near them could cost you your life. Some are home to tribes that reject outsiders. Some hide deadly creatures or ancient traps. And some hold secrets that governments will never share. Today, we're exploring 10 forbidden and unreachable places on Earth you'll never see, and the surprising reasons why no one is allowed inside. Number 1. North Sentinel Island, India. In the middle of the Bay of Bengal lies a small island that time forgot. North Sentinel Island is home to the Sentinelese tribe, one of the last groups of people who have never connected with modern civilization. They have lived in isolation for thousands of years and reject any contact with outsiders. The Indian government has made it completely illegal to go near this island. No one is allowed within 5 kilometers of its shores. Anyone who tries risks being attacked. The tribe has made it clear that they want to be left alone, and several people have lost their lives trying to reach them. The reason for their isolation goes beyond hostility. The tribe has no immunity to common diseases like the cold or the flu. A single infection could wipe out their entire population. Today, the Sentinelese live as hunter-gatherers, fishing and building simple shelters, continuing their way of life untouched by the modern world. Number 2. Snake Island, Brazil. Off the coast of Brazil sits an island you will never want to visit. It is officially called Ilha de Queimada Grande, but it's better known as Snake Island. The name says it all. The island is home to thousands of venomous golden lancehead vipers. Scientists estimate that there is at least 1 snake per square meter. Their venom is so strong that it can melt human flesh and kill within hours. Because of this danger, the Brazilian government banned public access. Only selected researchers with safety training are allowed under military supervision. The island's isolation helped these snakes evolve differently from those on the mainland. Their venom became 5 times more powerful, so they could kill birds before they flew away. Snake Island may sound terrifying, but it's also an important place for science and conservation. It helps protect a species found nowhere else on Earth. Number 3. The Tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, China. More than 2,000 years ago, China's first emperor built a tomb that still remains sealed. Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who unified China, wanted his final resting place to reflect his power. It took hundreds of thousands of workers almost 4 decades to complete. The tomb is guarded by the famous Terracotta Army, thousands of life-size clay soldiers buried to protect him in the afterlife. But archaeologists have never opened the main burial chamber itself. Ancient records mention rivers of mercury and deadly traps built to kill intruders. Modern studies found high levels of mercury in the soil, suggesting these stories might be true. The Chinese government has decided to leave the tomb untouched until preservation technology improves. For now, it remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries in the world. Number 4. Surtsey Island, Iceland. Not all forbidden places are ancient, some are brand new. In 1963, fishermen near Iceland saw smoke rising from the ocean. What they witnessed was the birth of a new island after an underwater volcano erupted. It was named Surtsey. Scientists quickly realized this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study how life begins on a new land. So they made it a protected zone. Only a few researchers are allowed to visit each year, and they must carefully clean everything before going so they don't bring in foreign seeds or bacteria. Over time, scientists have watched how plants, birds, and insects slowly settled on the island. What started as bare lava is now a small ecosystem. Surtsey is like a live science lab showing how life can start from nothing, but it must remain untouched to stay pure. Number 5. The Vatican Apostolic Archives, Vatican City. Inside the walls of Vatican City sits one of the most mysterious libraries in the world. The Vatican Apostolic Archives, once called the Vatican Secret Archives, holds over 85 kilometers of shelves filled with documents covering more than 1,000 years of history. These include letters from kings and queens, records of Galileo's trial, and correspondence related to major events like the Reformation and World War II. But very few people can enter. Only approved researchers from recognized universities can request access, and even if they are allowed to see just a few documents each day under strict rules. Photos are forbidden, and guards supervise every visit. Some believe these archives hide secrets that could change how we understand history. The Vatican says it restricts access to protect fragile materials and personal records. Whatever the truth, this place remains one of the most carefully protected collections on Earth. Number 6. Poveglia Island, Italy. Not far from Venice lies Poveglia Island, known as one of the darkest places on Earth. At first glance, it looks peaceful, but behind that quiet surface is a history full of death and pain. In the 1700s and 1800s, when the plague swept across Italy, infected people were sent here to die in isolation. Thousands of bodies were burned or buried on the island. Later, in the 20th century, it was turned into a psychiatric hospital. Over the centuries, so many people suffered and died there that locals now call it cursed. The Italian government has banned public access both to preserve the ruins and to respect the dead. Today, Poveglia stands empty, its buildings slowly falling apart, a silent reminder of how fear and disease shaped human history. Number 7. Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, United States. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia hides one of America's most secret facilities, the Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center. It was built during the Cold War as a place where government leaders could safely operate if Washington, D.C. were ever destroyed by nuclear attack. The underground complex contains offices, living quarters, a cafeteria, and its own communication systems. It's so self-sufficient that it could run the government for weeks without outside help. No civilian is allowed inside. The facility is run by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, and even its exact details remain classified. The only time the public heard of it was after a plane crash in the 1970s, which revealed its existence. Mount Weather shows how nations prepare for worst-case scenarios, protecting not treasures, but continuity of power. Number 8. Niihau, the Forbidden Island of Hawaii. Near the island of Kauai lies Niihau, often called the Forbidden Island. It has been privately owned by the same family since the 1800s and is home to fewer than 100 residents. Visitors are not allowed without permission from the owners. The goal is to protect traditional Hawaiian culture and language. People there live simply, away from modern distractions. They speak Hawaiian as their first language and use solar power for limited electricity. Occasionally, small helicopter tours allow outsiders to see part of the island from the air, but direct contact with residents is forbidden. Niihau is one of the few places where old Hawaiian traditions still survive in their pure form. Number 9. Lascaux Caves, France. In 1940, a group of teenagers exploring a forest in France discovered a hidden cave filled with paintings made by prehistoric humans about 17,000 years ago. These cave paintings in Lascaux show animals like horses and bulls drawn with surprising skill and color. When the site first opened to the public, thousands of people visited each year. But human breath, humidity, and light started to damage the art. By the 1960s, the walls began to grow mold, and the colors started to fade. To protect the paintings, France closed the original cave permanently. Only a few scientists can enter now, wearing protective suits for short periods. A replica called Lascaux II and later Lascaux IV was created so people could still experience the art without harming the real site. The original cave remains sealed, holding some of humanity's oldest art safe from time and from us. Number 10. Area 51, United States. few places spark as much curiosity as Area 51. Located in the Nevada desert, this American military base is so secret that for decades the government refused to admit it existed. It was originally built in the 1950s to test spy planes like the U-2 and later stealth aircraft. The extreme secrecy led people to believe it was hiding UFOs or alien technology. Area 51 is protected by armed guards, motion sensors, and restricted airspace. Anyone who tries to enter risks being arrested or even shot. The land around it is heavily monitored, and satellite images show only a small part of the facility. Most experts believe Area 51 continues to test advanced military technology. But because it's off limits, no one outside the government truly knows what happens there. From untouched tribes to secret archives and deadly islands, these places remind us that Earth still holds mysteries beyond our reach. Some are forbidden to keep people safe. Others are protected to preserve history, culture, or nature. In a world where almost everything feels connected and explored, these hidden corners show that there are still boundaries we can't cross. Maybe that's a good thing. Some places are meant to stay untouched, not because they hide danger, but because they hold something too valuable to lose. If you enjoyed exploring these hidden parts of our world, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.